I got a board. Let's let it go. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome for the new folks. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. Today we're going to talk about board banding. Have you heard of board banding or board ringing? It's pretty straightforward. Board banding is when you put a band or a ring on a board. Yeah, but it's a little bit more than that. So let me tell you what I thought it was and then what I found out. Check it out. Today we're talking about board banding. What I thought it was versus what it actually is. You know, have you heard of board banding? So what I thought board banding was all about is I would band this board here in Grenada and somebody would capture this board in Canada where it goes home to breed, and then we share information. However, that's not really how it works. So I will band this board in Grenada this year. The likelihood of someone capturing it in Canada would be rare to never. However, next year when I come back to this location at this time of year, I may get to catch this board again, as we've seen with that northern water thrush. That was a big misconception. We're going to let her go. It's a female protonotary warbler, young of the year. Let's let her go. Go on. Everybody keeps flying in my face. I need to work on my release skills. So what I thought board banding was that you would catch some birds, you put a ring on them, and someone else, wherever these birds come from for the migratory birds, would catch it and then send your information back. I found out, however, that the birds we catch here in the migratory grounds or the wintering grounds, which is the Caribbean, Central and South America, we may catch them here again another year because the same birds tend, if they survive, tend to come back to the same locations at the same time. However, someone in North America where they breed, there probably be 100,000 of them breeding in the pineal forest or somewhere. They would not catch this bird. However, there are locations where the birds would pass on the migratory routes where people would set up banding stations and catch birds by the thousand, and they may catch the same bird every year for a lot of years. However, the general bird that you catch, so the bird I catch in Grenada, like this protonotary warbler or this northern water thrush that I caught, will go back to breed in North America, Canada, upper USA. However, nobody may catch it there, but next year I can expect it back in the same location. So that's a big thing that I had to clarify a bit in case you're wondering as well, because I thought it would be different before. You must also have the right equipment and attire based on the location you're going. Yeah, it's very wet, so today I'm using the wellies. Sometimes you have a station that's one location, and other times, like I am doing, you have multiple stations throughout an island or on a location. So you have to carry a lot of stuff, and most importantly, you should have a good machete. Let's go. Preparation is always key. We use mist nets. There are many different ways that you can catch these birds. We have mist netting. You have, some people do studies on hatchling birds. You also have a different way you shoot the net out. There's lots of different ways. We use very small mist nets. We target passerine species. I'll show you in a while. You always carry bags to put the birds in. This is my marathon pouch. I did run a marathon once. I'll show you the proof. Look up there. But comes in very handy to carry the bags, and I could just pull a bag out to put a board in. There are also multiple different ways that you set the net. Can't find me hold it. It's definitely around here somewhere. So, come closer. the boards don't actually get entangled in the net. They land and they sit in the pocket. Easy there, easy there. Sometimes they scream. I'm just trying to get it out without doing any damage. See? Easy. So let me get this board out of the net. I always do a quick vet check, make sure it's a healthy board, and then I put it in a sizable bag that fits the board. That limits the stress on the board, and then we can process it. Let's see, there's another board in the other net. Let's see. So this fella, easy there big fella, it's a northern water thrush. This is a migratory board, and I actually seen that. Easy. Let me just get the wings out. So ooh, sometimes you should let the board go instead of damaging it. And go again. Hey you, how you doing? So we've caught this board before. Whoa, this is actually a board from last year. This is a board from last year. So one of the things we do in board banding, and I'll explain this later, a board we catch today, this board went to North America, probably bred in Canada or somewhere. Look at it, this little board did, and it came back. So when I have a look at it just now, I'll put it in the bag before we process it. This is a board from last year. This is not even scripted. I'm so excited. This is one of the reasons you do board banding. So this board would now show some information. We'd see new information. It came a year later back to the exact same location. I think it's here. I banded only a couple of these last season, and it was at this location. So we could see if it came back to the same location or if it's from a different location, but we definitely, it's one of our bands. It was a last year band. So let's see. You'll see this one when we're processing it. Check it out. It's a bit hot, but I'll cool down in a while. This is science, so of course we have all our scientific implementation and apparatuses. Gonna have my data sheet. Ooh, I'm sweating. You see, this is only, documentation is just as important. This is only the last couple days. Hopefully we get a lot of boards today. One of the most important things if you're going to get involved in board banding is having a good passerine identification guide. This is called the Board Bible. It's by Pyle. It's the new edition. It's much better than the first edition. Few mistakes are out there, but it have what you need to know. So if you're ever thinking about getting into board bandings or finding ways to identify some of the North American species, this would be the book to get. Look at it. I'm not even advertising. It's not paid, but this is definitely essential. So we're going to go process these. I'm going to take some of the information. I'll show you what we do. So I just checked the database, and this board actually was banded at the same location we are now in the last migratory season. Okay, so there's its friend. I'm gonna get some measurement, check its weight to make sure it has the same weight, gets a couple of measurement, look at the feathers. So check it out. A board in the hand. You could also check out our 3KC boarding channel for a board in the hand video and footage. This is a beauty. I'm gonna take the band number. You see, this is an old ring. We make sure when we place in a ring on a board, we make sure that it doesn't pass the knee or the foot. This ring is very light. This board migrated to North America and back with it, so it shows this does not affect it much. It's a bit feisty. Let's not keep it too long. I'm gonna write down the measurements. The other thing we measure is what you call the wing chord, and the wing chord is basically the length of the wing when it's closed like this. This one here is 72. Not that bad. There are other measurements you can get from the wing as well, but we only do the wing chord. I like to also measure the beak to see how long the beak is. Full length of the beak. You're allowed a degree of error in this one. Can't have too much of a shaky hands, no, because then you don't want to poke them in the eye. Some people may take different measurements based on what they're looking for, but most people take some of the same measurements, and you can use these measurements to find the age of a bird or the sex of a bird if you look up in the book. Right, so this bird, for instance, who came all the way from North America last year, when it came, it was a juvenile bird. Let's see what it looks like now. Ooh, these are really new feathers. So when I get one, I'll show you. This is what, there is not a mouth limit, so all these feathers are generally the same type, consistency, density. You cannot see a difference between any other than the normal wear and tear. So this is interesting. Really nice bird. You look at the tail as well. You can see these are relatively easy there. So you don't want to stress the bird too much. We're going to finish a couple things on this bird. We're going to let it go. This is its home maybe for the next 3-4 months before it migrates back to the US or Canada. I'll show you some of these measurements in other birds, of course. But bird banding, or bird ringing as you call it, is one of the ways you can identify migratory patterns of birds, identify the health of your local bird populations. So we'll show you more. So we've gotten the measurements from this bird. Really beautiful bird. Thank you for cooperating. We're gonna let it go. I expected it to go this way. Bye bye. Pooped on me table. So easy there. Different birds of course cooperate differently. Could you let me go? But even though we're looking at these birds, you don't want to do damage to them. So a little bite like this would do no harm to me. Now each bird has a different size. This is a very common bird in Grenada. It's a spectacled thrush, and I've caught a lot of those, so I know exactly what size ring it's going to take. Let me show you now. So the ring that you put on the bird, or the band, it comes with a number code, a letter code. It also has easy there, easy. Please, let's make a video. I won't be too long. Let's finish processing, then we'll talk about it. Yeah, so look at this band. There are multiple ways. When you do banding, you have special equipment that comes, and the idea is that you seal it so that it does not open or stick on a string. But if you look, it doesn't go past the knee, doesn't go past the foot. It would be, the bird will forget it's there. More like a watch that you wear every day than some sort of collar or something. Of course, all this would be documented. We take the same set of measurement in every bird that we catch. Weighing cards again. Easy there now. One of the things, consistency is key. Not only do I take every bird that I catch, but I take the same measurement in every species to look for a difference. You'd be amazed the amount of variation you get between species. So sometimes we get the really rare birds like that northern water thrush that we already caught last year. We caught it on its second year. And other times we get like this second year spectacled thrush, which is a very common bird in your backyard. So when you're doing bird banding, you'll probably get 100 of these to one of those based on the time of year. Of course, we're in the migratory season, so we're expecting a lot of migratory birds. But yes, so this guy was actually very feisty, but then it was very cooperative. One of the things you need to know, you don't keep a bird longer than you need to. So let's let him go. He gave me a bite. you're free to go. He was more concerned in biting me than flying away. Sometimes that happens. But while board banding, remember you need to first of all have loads of training in this. You have to get some qualifications. All boards are handled under permits granted by the relevant authority. So we have the qualifications, the permits, the equipment, the knowledge, and then of course we have resources. Always keep resources around. You may see a board like I've seen 100 of these easy, but I keep the resources so I can look at it again. Now the spectacle thrush is not in this book, but maybe we come out with a book that has it, or you use a common species that's similar. Anyway, let's see what else we catch. So other thing that we do, use appropriate size for boards. So we have small bag for small boards, large bag for large boards. The other thing, you have different size bands on the string. So we have large bands, we have really small bands, relatively small bands. Now if you notice, some strings may have more bands than the other. It's because like one board for instance where I've caught maybe 400, 300 in this species was one species of board, so you're running through the bands very quickly, while another board we may only have got 100 in it, or 50 or 70, you know. And different boards may use different size bands. So there's one band, for instance, this band here, who's on band number 300. Only one type of board actually have banded with this, whereas this band here would have banded maybe 7 or 8 different type of board, and we're only in the second 100 series, you know. So give or take. Sometimes when we walk, we meet empty nets. We walk at specified intervals, like based on the temperature, wind, predators. The other thing you might meet, come see this, you might meet a leaf in the net. It's not a yellow board, it's just a leaf, but you take it out because these are mist nets. And let me show you this. The net is so thin. This one is a size 14, so it's really small threads. Don't know if you can see it against my hand, but these are mist nets. And how it works, it doesn't entangle the board. The board would fly just like that leaf. Normally they stop and they land in this pocket. Let me demonstrate with a board bag. So this is a board flying, lands in the pocket, stays there. While it's trying to figure out what's going on, we come and we take it out of the net. Easy as ABC. Now sometimes of course some boards are a bit feisty, some boards may be stressed, they might get a bit entangled, but that's why we walk at intervals, so that they don't get too stressed in the net. So yeah, let's go. Let's see when we catch another board. Yeah, let's go. You must also make sure you have good equipment. Let's recognize these boots. These boots was purchased in Dublin, Ireland in 2018. They were the replacement for a replacement pair that I purchased in 2014, I think, or 2016, I don't know. I did clinics in Dublin and I bought these steel cap wellies, and a Clydesdale horse stepped on me and it didn't damage me, so I was like, these are good boots. It's a bit old now, I need to replace them and maybe go for the pond next year. But yeah, you need good equipment. It's a slight leak, so I'm airing out my toes. It's really swampy around. Okay, it's okay, it's okay. I'm being extra careful because, not only because this is a migratory bird, it would have migrated here, but I don't want to do damage. See? Little bit of patience and we can get it out. Lot of green on it. It's most likely a female, but we will see. Yep, definitely a female protonotary wobbler. We will see. Let's put her in the bag. We walk. So this is YouTube. Although you're seeing this straight after, this is like half an hour after we let go the last set of boards. We have 2 boards in the bag. You've seen the protonotary wobbler out the net. There is another board here. Migratory bird that came from Canada, local bird that came from somebody's backyard. They're just as important, the both of them. Let's go walk them up. So this female protonotary wobbler, we're gonna put a ring on the foot. So one of the things about bird ringing, they can kick. So you put the ring in, then you turn your hands so they cannot kick into the ring, and you tighten it. After which, of course, you can do some maneuvering to make sure it's nice and sealed. when you finish, you make sure it can run smoothly, doesn't pass the foot or the knee. Yeah. This is a female protonotary wobbler for three things. You can see the green, a lot of green on the head. The male is normally very yellow. Another thing, you can actually see the white on the tail only goes to 3 feathers inside. So the male would have had white going all the way in. That's really cool. Let's have a look. Let's take some measurement. It's a beautiful bird that breeds in North America. It's really shabby. I can see a molt limit. Another thing, there would be fancy grips. So this here is called the bander's grip. There's other grips, and this allows me not only to band the bird, but when I want to look for how fat it is, you see, you can just blow the feathers. This one only has a trace of fat, so we try to process it very quick. Don't blow too much, you could actually black out, you know. If it was in the breeding season, we'd look for CP, which is cloacal protuberance, and a brood patch, but it's not the breeding season. Now I will examine this bird to see if what we call a molt limit. There isn't no visible molt limit on this one, but don't worry, today we'll get one to show you. We'll get one with a molt limit. Maybe I'll have to substitute one from my yard or somewhere. So this black-faced grass-squid female is a local bird. The other thing I'd like to find out, I have different sites, but is this bird gonna stay in this exact location throughout the year, or will it move around the island a bit? And I have a few different sites on the island. So far we've only found birds from the same location, in the same location, but in time let's see. This is an ongoing research, so as fast as the data come in we'll see. But let me just show you. She's a bit feisty, but let me put her in photographer's grip just to show you a different grip type. Maybe she'll calm down, maybe she'll flap a bit. Okay, this is photographer's grip. That way you can take a really good photo. You secure the legs, but yeah, now let me show you. Let's let her go. Maybe this one will go this way. It's okay. One finally went where I wanted it to go. Let's go check the net. It's just about time. So a lot of it has to do with walking as well. When setting up your nets, make sure you set it up in places that you're actually okay walking, and don't overwork yourself. Don't put more nets than you can actively manage, right? We only have 4 nets up today. Sometimes I have as much as 6 up, but yeah, this one is empty. Don't know if you can see this, but there's a house wren right there. So sometimes you set the net is over there, it's not too visible, and sometimes there's birds hanging around the net. So the other thing we do when you're bird banding, you make a note of all the birds you saw while you were there. Now mind you, sometimes we're out here for hours, sometimes 5-6 hours we're out here. You make a note of the birds. You make a fairly honest count. Some birds you may see together, like one time you see 10 in one bird, but then an hour later you see one. You may not add it to the 10 because it could be one of those you saw in the 10. Or like this little house wren right here feeding around, and he's slowly going. Look him there, beautiful bird. But yeah, so that's another thing we do observing. I'm just watching to see it's making its way over to that net. Maybe it will fly in the net while I'm talking on the video, maybe not. It doesn't seem bothered by our presence, you know, which is a good thing. It means we're making minimal disturbance in the habitat. So nothing water thrush over there. There's a protonotary warbler calling on top of that tree. Some pretty good birds around. Banana quit is calling over there. There's another net this way, but if the net works right, you would not see it, and the bird would not see it. So far the nets have been good. Numbers are coming in. Here's the house wren again. Let's go walk up. We have a bird in the bag. Let's go walk it up. So this is a second year female black-faced grass squid, and I'll do it late in the season. She still has some remnant of her brood patch. She's molting it in. She also has, easy girl, she also has this small injury that she had to the toe, where the toenail is missing. Now as the vet, I also check for injuries on this board. If I think it was significant, I would not put a ring on her, but this ring. Some protonotary there. That's a male. You can see from the tail we also have a thrush. Let's get them out the net real quick, process them. So this board is sitting comfortably in the net. Easy there. Gonna get a hold of it. Then I'm gonna remove the net above its head. It's already out the net. Ooh, easy. Don't stress, little one. Don't stress. Don't stress. Let me show you. You see how nice and yellow the head is compared to how green the other one was? This is not a good hold. It could actually escape. Okay, this is a much better hold. You know it's a male based on all the white on the tail compared to the female. How bright orange it is. Striking bud, striking orange yellow. Let's put him in a bag. It's not banded. It's the 5th one we've seen today. The 2nd one we've caught. So let's process him. Some birds are a bit screamy, but remember, the bird is thinking a predator is coming to eat it, so it's okay if it screams. But yeah, let's go process these two. So we have this strikingly beautiful male protonotary warbler. Just look at how beautiful he is. It's different to the female. The female had a lot of green on the head. Let me just see how much fat he has in there. Ooh. It's only a trace of fat, so we're gonna let him go to have his breakfast really fast. We've taken all the necessary measurement. You can see here such uniform wings, nice basic cycle adult, but this would be an adult male. You can also see from his tail, so much white on the tail, unlike that female earlier. Beautiful bird. We're gonna let him go. Yep, thank you. So this was a very non-cooperative thrush. Look at him. They carry almost no fat. It's a basic cycle adult. Let's just let him go. Still giving out. Oh, that's an angry bird. I don't know if you used to play Angry Birds, but that's an angry bird. It's really strong and nice though. This little fella right here is the most common bird you'll find in Grenada. This band right now is band number 300, yeah? And in that band, I've only banded one bird other than a banana quit with it. So this is the 299th banana quit that was banded in about 700 birds. So that's just like 45%. Just look at it. It's a Grenada variation of the banana quit. Black bird. People call it Swissy bird, Southsea bird. Beautiful bird. We're gonna take some measurements, assess the feathers, but yeah, let me see how fat it is. Ooh, surprisingly this one is not very fat, huh? But let's process it, then let him go. Beautiful little fella. Banana quit number 299. Wow. Okay, so we have here a beautiful second tier female blackface grass quit, and I want to show you what they call moult limit. So you can age a bird. Now I don't know how clear this is, but let me use the pen. These 3 feathers are much darker and green than these feathers here and those feathers here, and they're the same feather type. So she would have changed this tree and kept her juvenile feathers here. That's how we can age it. So that's a moult limit. A moult limit is a visible difference between feathers of the same kind or feathers of different kind next to each other. These are all primary feathers, and 3 have changed while the others have not. Okay, so she's been very good. Let's let her go. So this is another second year black-faced grass squid. You've just seen one before. If you look here now, the molting is different. So we can see these two juvenile feathers next to one of those what we call a formative feather in the secondaries here. These are actually one secondary. This is a primary feathers. Then we see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dark green primary feathers that are formative, and just a juvenile one that has been kept back. And the other one is kind of shabby, but it's actually a formative. So same species bud, same age bud, but completely different molt limit, and that can happen at times. Now the difference between a molt limit, which is a visible difference between feathers of the same kinds of feathers next to each other, like you can see here, and molting is when you have targeted scheduled changing of feathers. So you change all the feathers in the wings, you're molting. But a molt limit is the visible difference. Okay, 5 hours later. You can't be afraid to get dirty. Woo. If you had smelly vision, this water stinks. Anyways, let's talk about the business side of things now. For the people in the Caribbean, I don't think actually membership applies to you, so don't worry about the membership thing. If you're in the US, UK, somewhere else, you can see the link below here to join as a member to support the channel. But guess what? Hitting that like button also supports the channel. Watching the video, leaving a comment also supports the channel. And if you're not subscribed as yet, subscribe to the channel because it makes a big difference here. Thanks again. We're gonna pack up, we're gonna head. Hopefully we got some good stuff. I think we got some good stuff. Might do a few more bud banding videos, depends on how this one goes. Let me know what you think. Anyway, thanks again, have a good one. I wonder if people will actually like this video. Yeah. It smells stink. We definitely have to make smelly vision. Yeah? Don't try this at home. Yeah. Just as there are many ways to put up the net, many ways to take down the net. Different people, different nets would do it differently. This net is about 10 feet tall, 5 shelves. If you look here, you'll see you can go off. If you live in the first world, I guess you'll buy fancy poles, but when you live in the tropic, I used completely recyclable natural elements, basically because it was much easier to cut this than to buy a pole for a few $100s. Yeah, and then if it gets wet, you can always go back to the tree. Oh, but wait, I stick it very far down in the ground. This pole is about 12 feet long. But yeah, very innovative. If you see me banding in the mountains, then you'd see I'm using bamboo as well. Let me mention here, check out the 3KC boarding channel. I put a link above. You can see about in the hand series. We normally put the board banding stuff there. This one's gonna be about board banding, but normally on the channel we have a variety of different things that I'm involved in. But on the 3KC boarding channels, you can see boards of Grenada and boards from other parts of the world where we've been boarding. Well, yep, check it out. Let's go pack up. Beautiful young spectacled thrush, also known as bay-eyed robin. Let's let him go. Very young bird. Some birds have rare genetic traits, like this leucistic bud, where white feathers come out instead of the brown. Beautiful spectacled thrush. Let's let him go. Check out the bird in the hand series on the 3KC boarding channel. Although sometimes I'm out here for myself. Big shout out to Kate who did all the filming today. Send a wave for the people in TV, in YouTube land. Yep. So our last 2 nets, we just got in a couple of extra boards there. We're gonna pull the nets and head out. Look at how filthy my feet are. Even the boots are dirty. What are they?